Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart and the Cardano chart. We can see that prices are dropping a little bit. We talked about the potential of a smaller price drop at least in the last video, and yeah, let's take a look at what is happening. So we had here, we are still in this correction. We have this potential W pattern which is forming here. This W pattern could lead, if we break out above the neckline, or at least if we break above the zone here from 44.5k, between 44.5k and 46.5k. If we break through that zone here, then we could really see a breakout above the 46.5k level, and that could take us all the way to 55k. We talked about that. We talked also about this potential head and shoulders which is forming here, and the potential that if we break out of this triangle, we can get to the previous support at 41.5k, form the right shoulder, and then complete this inverse head and shoulders pattern, like that, where you have where you've got your left shoulder here, you've got your head here, and you've got your right shoulder, and that would also be, basically it would lead you to the same price target of around 55k. At 55k, we also have the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, the most relevant one, okay? So looking like, yes, we are indeed here currently dropping to the downside. We looked at the 4-hour MACD yesterday. That was also starting to roll over here. That is playing out. As usual, the MACD has helped us to tell where the price might be heading next. And what I said is, if we are, the longer we are just moving sideways here, the higher the probability that we are going to drop, because then these indicators are starting to roll over, like in this case the 4-hour MACD. Bearing in mind, this in no way predicts now or can allow us to forecast the outcome if we are going to break above this zone here. 46.5k at least is the maximum, so between this 44.5k level and 46.5k level, do we really break through here? Just because we're dropping now and because the 4-hour chart is turning a little bit bearish, it doesn't really allow us to make any conclusions. It doesn't, because what you can still do, you can just now form a higher low, and as I said, the head and shoulders, the inverse head and shoulders could come into play. But again, the inverse head and shoulders doesn't play out until we break here this resistance zone, okay? So we have to really just wait for the breakout. Now, in my view, the imminent sell-off scenario where we go down straight away into my target area between 29 and 20k, that would become again more likely if we break a below 41.5k. So this next support level, if we break below that, I think that would become much more likely. And each support level that we drop, the more likely will become that imminent scenario that is still my primary one, okay? That we sell off straight away, and that we then are going to see a completion of the correction in this target area. So just because we're dropping a little bit doesn't really help us anything. It could also still be a bit of a fake out. It could still be that. There is no guarantee that this doesn't become something else, because what I would want to see, if we really break out here of this triangle, I would want to see volume. I would want to see volume. I don't see a volume confirmed breakout. That would mean we would need some selling volume here, and I can't see it, not on the 1-hour chart. Volume is pretty much stable, because the risk is, if you break out here to the downside without a volume confirmation, then you just go back in, or you even from here break to the upside. So at the moment I'm a bit skeptical about this break to the downside, because there is no volume. We also were bought up here immediately as the price dropped to 43k. You can see that actually on the hourly. There was this wick here actually in the current hour. Now that can indicate two things. It can indicate that it was just all bought up and it's very bullish, because in the end this is also a bullish pennant, a bullish pattern where we could move to the upside, break to the upside actually more often than not. But it could also just indicate that the sellers weren't quite ready yet, and that in the next sell-off this wick gets filled and we just sell off straight away. So again, there's always different perspectives, and at the moment, until we break one of these key support or resistance lines, So the resistance zone between 44.5k and 46.5k, and the support level at 41.5k. Until any of that happens, we can't really come to any conclusions. But in this video, I just want to re-emphasize these support and resistance zones and how important they are. Let's take a look at the EMA ribbon to see if anything interesting happened there. On the 1 hour chart, the EMA ribbon, you can see that the price has nearly fallen below the EMA ribbon. It's just finding support here, yeah, on the lowest of the EMA ribbons. And the lowest EMA, on the lowest EMA, it has found support, it has come back above it. So we haven't really broken that to the downside. As soon as you break that completely to the downside, and that would be below 43.2k, and you stay there, then I think the sell-off to, in the first instance, 41.5k is likely. But if that takes place, again, we could just form the right shoulder, okay? So we need to be careful, and we need to be patient, and we need to see how the market is going to react to the how the market is reacting really here in the next few hours. You know, maybe we already see a decision in the next few hours or days. If we zoom out, yeah, we can also see here that this 41.5k level, on the VPVR, that will be support. Yeah, there is a lot of historical volume there, and we can identify it here anyway. It was before support. So that is also confirmed on the VPVR. And so even though we have some movement, even though we moved quite strongly down here, you can see there is quite a bit of volatility in the market. We had that fake out to the upside here to 45 and 45.4. Then we had this sort of at the moment fake out, but this wick to the downside to just below 43k. So yeah, there is a bit of volume, keeping it interesting. But we need to wait still until one of these levels is broken. Until then, this could just be another flag, okay? Or another, just another triangle pattern or so. All right, that is Bitcoin. Cardano also dropping a little bit. We talked about this yesterday because also here the 4 hour MACD was turning a little bit bearish. Yeah, but again, it is only the 4 hour chart. It is only the 4 hour chart. We saw it yesterday when I think it actually came down to that target area that we talked about yesterday. So we talked about the breakout out of this channel. We saw it. We talked about the retest here, and that in the next move down, the 92 cent level is the next support. Okay, it was already pierced basically. Yeah, we dropped below 92. We came all the way down to 91, found support there. However, yeah. And we are now back above this 92 cent level. Again, it is following Bitcoin. It depends on Bitcoin. We have seen it on the MACD that this is the 1 hour chart. We've seen it yesterday that the MACD was starting to go down again, and the selling pressure on the MACD. You could observe it here on the MACD on the 1 hour chart, even though it's only a 1 hour chart, but still it's playing out. We also saw it on the 4 hour chart. So we have a bearish crossover here on the MACD on the 4 hour for Cardano, and we cannot yet see reducing selling pressure. So here for Cardano, for me, it's a bit different because Cardano, with this wick to the downside, it actually made another low. Okay, but not a lower low. So, okay, that's fine. Not a lower low, and we can probably even, if I see this correctly here, identify a trend line. Can you see that trend line? And that might help the price overall to climb higher, if I see this correctly. We need to, however, get the MACD to turn around for that. It is not a sign that it's doing that yet. On the 1 hour, it's not very clear. If it's turning around here on the 1 hour, it's probably going to turn around a little bit later on the 4 hour. And then you could see here that we are finding support, in fact, on this ascending trend line, and that could help the price in the end then climb up. But again, it depends a bit on Bitcoin at the moment, or pretty much on Bitcoin at the moment. So that is very important, something to look out for here at the moment. And until we really see a breakout here. I told you yesterday what I'm going to do if Bitcoin breaks above 46.5k. Yeah, we always want to react to these scenarios. And here you can see that trend line that I painted or that I put on the chart here for Cardano. If I put that on the Bitcoin chart, there is still more space. So Bitcoin could really drop to that 41.5k level without cutting through that ascending trend line. Okay, so yeah, quite likely in my view that we could get there if this, what we're doing here at the moment, is not just a fake out to the downside. And it could still, even it doesn't need to get to 41.5k. It could even be a small right shoulder, okay, and the price target would still be 55k. Yeah, that's my view here on Bitcoin and Cardano at the moment. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.